Hey, when you're moving to Tennessee or moving anywhere, you want to save money. Buying a home is expensive. The move itself is expensive. In today's show, we're going to talk about my favorite top 7 tips for saving money when you move. Now, be sure to stick to the last, especially if you saw the show that I did on this back in 2019 with the beginnings of COVID. Things have changed quite a bit since then, and you don't want to miss it. So check you on the other side. So as you can tell, I'm not in Tennessee. I'm in Houston actually at a convention, but the show must go on. Every single week, we do a new show about what it's like to eat, sleep, play, live, work, enjoy life in the Middle Tennessee area. So if that's of interest to you, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. Every single week, we go to a new community, show you different areas, small towns, big towns, all there is to know about Middle Tennessee area. So stick with me. Subscribe to the show and you won't miss a thing. Today, we're talking about the top tips to save money in 2022. And it's different now. We are past COVID. We are free and moving around. We're doing all the great things. There are some differences, though, that you need to know to save money if you're moving here from pretty much anywhere in the country. I'm finding a lot of different places expect different things, and you need to know what maybe stays with the home, what doesn't stay with the home. Should you leave your furniture at home? How do you find childcare? All those things. Stick around. So since I started talking about furniture, let's start there. We're playing pretend now. You found your home. You know exactly where you're going to move to. Now it's time to figure out the packing, the moving, how you're going to get there. One of the first things that I think is super important for people to understand is what furniture are you going to bring with you? What are you going to take? We're trying to talk about saving money here. Why in the world would you want to bring furniture with you that you're not going to use in your new home? One thing we do for many people is if we need to, we can send you the floor plans of the home you're going to purchase. Maybe your master bedroom is 18 by 14, but it's got 2 giant windows and you have a king size bed. Will it fit? Look, take inventory of your of the home, of your home, of the furniture that you want to keep. And if Great Aunt Edna's sideboard is just not going to be your style anymore, you just aren't looking for that golden oak look in your new home, sell it on Marketplace in your home. It's expensive to move things. You pay by the pound. If it's not something you love, it's not something you cherish, if it's not something you really want to have in your new home, don't bring it here and then try to figure out what the heck to do with it. Take inventory of what you have, know what you love, then reach out to me, your realtor, and I will help you lay out what size is that sideboard, what size is the corner cupboard, what size is your master bedroom furnishings that you've got, all the things that are important pieces to you. We're going to help find the spot that it should go in your new home with that layout. I can tell you, that's going to help you a whole lot when the movers are coming too, because you know exactly where each of those pieces go. Heck, when I was moving every single time, I used a piece of chest of drawers that was in one bedroom. In my new home, I use it in the front hall. Everything doesn't have to go in the same place that it always went to. So the more you can think these things through, the more money you're going to save, the less hassle you're going to have, and you're going to have great peace of mind. Sell what you don't want. And that includes, go ahead, if you want to get it out and help stage your home to sell better where you live now, go ahead and get it out of that home. Your realtor will be happy I gave you that tip. Okay, so number 2 is super easy, actually, to save a lot of money. You've just got a plan. So you know your list of the things that you're going to take with you. Next, go on your Facebook Marketplace. Go on Craigslist. I'll bet you can find an awful lot of really good, still used packing products, be it both boxes, maybe it's the bubble wrap. You can find a lot of really good packing boxes that people just want to get rid of for free. On the other end, I've always told you, be sure to join the Facebook group of the neighborhood that you are buying your new home in your new city. So if you're buying a home in Brentwood, Tennessee, join the Facebook neighborhood marketplace groups. When it's time to get rid of all those boxes as you unpack, put it on the group. Somebody's going to want that stuff and take it from you by 24 hours, and you can have it out of the way. But you can find so much free if you do a little effort. Now, the next thing is go to the dollar store, go to your neighborhood construction store, and you can buy in giant volume, in giant bulk, some of the butcher paper in huge 30-foot rolls. I tell you, you'll take a lot of that off, but it's going to be so much more inexpensive if you buy it that way rather than going to maybe the U-Haul or the store and packet places. You know, you can save a lot of money with a little bit of thought. And be sure, go ahead and join those Facebook neighborhood groups. I promise you, they're going to come in handy. Number 3, let's talk about appliances. Now, I didn't realize until I've started helping hundreds of families come into the Middle Tennessee area that many locations throughout the country, people leave their refrigerators. They leave all their appliances. That is not standard custom here in the Middle Tennessee area, and certainly not during this times of COVID. And the reason for that is because the supply chains are so small. So it is not customary in Middle Tennessee for the refrigerator to stay in a home unless it is custom built in. It is not customary for the washer and dryer in a home in the Middle Tennessee area to remain with the property. Now, it might be part of your negotiation, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what's customary. So when you are putting your home on the market in maybe California or in Chicago, where I understand both places, typically the washer and dryer remains, you may want to hold on to those because you may not have one in the place that you purchase. And the second part of that is still we're having supply chain issues. So if you sell your washer and dryer and your refrigerator in California or Chicago with your whole old home, and you buy a home here in the Middle Tennessee area, you may show up with no refrigerator and not being able to buy one for a couple weeks to longer. Or the same with the washer and dryer. Now, one other thing I've noticed is many places throughout the country, people customarily have a gas dryer. That is not as customary here. Here in the Middle Tennessee area, it's still more customary to be an electric dryer. Not that hard to change. You can just change the plugs, but I just want you to get an idea of some of the differences. And we all take that for granted until we go to a new area. Okay, so I'm back in Nashville, and that was clear as mud. You can change out from an electric dryer to a gas dryer very easily by changing out the plug if you happen to have gas in the house. How do you know? If you have a gas cooktop, and that's not, it's maybe 50% of the homes here in Nashville. If you have a gas cooktop or if you have a gas water heater, that's more prevalent. If there's gas already into the house and it's not built on a slab, if it's on a crawl space, it may well be easy to change out and continue to run the gas line to your gas dryer. Look, it can be complicated, but it's really not. We just got to have everything fall into place, and we'll solve problems as they arise, as they're needed. But if you have a gas dryer, you love your gas dryer, I say you bring your gas dryer, because they are way behind in fulfillment of that, unless you like going to the wishy-washy. Something else you want to be sure to do is, and your agent's going to help you with this, or I certainly am going to, when you buy your new home here in the Middle Tennessee area, you want to be sure to go ahead and pay all the deposits that you need, whether it's gas, electric, water. Go ahead and pay those deposits. Make sure of the date you possess the home, it's in your name, and that the seller has taken it out of their name. You do not want the seller to turn everything off and have to pay to turn it back on. You not only have a deposit that you're going to have to pay, you're also going to have to pay a hefty fee for each home. So be sure to make that timing work. That's where a good realtor is going to help you in knowing all the T's to dot and the I's to cross, or I said that wrong. You got me. You know, all those deadlines, we're not going to miss them. Saves you lots of money. One of the most expensive parts of any move, whether it's cross country or across the street even, is the movers, the move itself, the physical aspect of the move. Now let's talk about a couple things that will definitely save you money quickly. If you move during the middle of the week rather than weekends, you're going to save money. That's just a supply and demand thing. Most people want to move on the weekends for convenience. If you're willing to be a little inconvenient, you're going to save money. Something else that's a big savings is to move in the second or third week of the month rather than the first. Typically, most people like to close the last day or so of the month, which means their move might be the first week of the month. That's the most expensive move week there is. So just keep that in mind when you are asking or working on your contract with contract to close and with the time of possession. All these things make a real difference in the getting your contract accepted maybe, but also in saving lots of money. Something else that you can work on is maybe you want to do the move yourself. Maybe you're going to get a giant U-Haul and you're going to do the move yourself, but you might need help with packing. I have found a really good service. It's called TaskRabbit. It's an app. It's something that you put in there what kind of services you need, whether it's help with packing or unpacking or hanging TVs or light carpentry work at your home. You put in what it is you need, and you've got all kinds of people bidding for the opportunity to come do that work for you. I got to tell you, I have had so much success with them, both in the Middle Tennessee area, doing all kinds of work for me, even putting together those stupid IKEA cabinets or any of that kind of thing, putting beds together. So if you are going to do the move yourself, say with U-Haul, this has been a big help. You're going to be tired when you get to the other end. Check into TaskRabbit. See if you can't find somebody to do that job for you for 2-4 hours. It'll help you out a lot. Hey, if you're finding these tips helpful, or if you're looking to move to Nashville, do what everybody else is doing. Give me a call, give me a text, send me an email. Let me know what you're doing. I'm going to help you put together a strategy just as I've helped them in putting a strategy together to make the move to Nashville be as safe, comfortable, easy, put you into that right community. And go ahead, send me that call or text just like so many of my other now friends have done. And be sure to subscribe to this show. Something new is coming up next week. You don't know where I'm going to be. So while we're at it and talking about the customs in Nashville, it's not at all unusual now for a home to be purchased but not be able to have the possession until maybe a couple days after closing. If that's the case for you, then you're going to need to find a place to live, right? And you can maybe say, well, I'm just not going to do that. Well, then you're just not going to get the home, possibly. Again, if you're looking at this 3 months from now, and this is late May, if you're looking at this video 3 months from now, it may be totally different. So that's why you've got to talk to me. But as of today, most homes are contracting to close maybe on May 30th, but possession might not be for 2-3 a month later. That's because it's still very much of a seller's market. So if that's the case, you need a place to live, right? Well, unless you can, and we have strategized when I talk to everyone, I strategize to allow you to keep your possession in your home, in your old hometown. But in case you were not able to do that or you didn't talk to me, then I've got to help you find a place to live. COVID times, it was pretty easy to find an Airbnb owner who would allow someone to stay in their home for maybe 3 weeks to a month at a much reduced price rather than the daily rate of the Airbnb. That's not the case any longer because Tennessee, Middle Tennessee in particular, is wide open. But what I can help you do is find a long-term stay hotel. Now, one of the good things about that is that you'll have a kitchenette, and you don't have to go out to dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's typically in a good location. So we'll find you a long-term stay hotel that's in the community that you've purchased your home. And the good thing about that too is that if you end up staying in a long-term stay hotel for 30 days or more, then you do not pay the hotel motel tax. Believe me, that will save you a lot of money. And that's what this video is all about, saving you money. So this next tip is less a money-saving tip and more of a mental health tip. If you've got small children and you're moving, if you've got kids at all, and you're moving, you're going to need to find a place maybe for daycare. You're also going to need to find where schools they're going to. You need to get into the school system way before you actually have moved in and want to get your kids into school the next day. Daycare in particular is really, really difficult right now. So if you have a small child, you are going to need to get into daycare. You have found the home community that you want to be in. And honestly, that's got to be a part of this whole thing. That's part of all of our strategy of knowing, when I get to know you, what is it that you and your family want and need in a community? If you have small children, you obviously want to be in a good children's community. You're also going to want to know where there's good daycare. All that goes into it. But let's assume we found your community And I suggest we go ahead and try to start putting your kids on the waiting list way in advance. Waiting list of the daycare centers that are available within your area. And there may be a waiting list. The reason that I think it's so super important before anything is because I know how frustrating it can be. If you're coming here for a job, you need to either find a daycare center near your job or near your home. When some piece of your move holds still, we need to get into and involved with the things that are going to make that move easier and the transition easier. So early on, we've got to identify the best daycare centers for you. If you want your kids in private schools, the best private schools, get them on those waiting lists, find out everything you need to know about deposits, all that type of thing, way before you set foot in Middle Tennessee, Nashville in particular. So I promise you, if you stuck around for the last tip, you're going to be really happy that you did. Last tip is this. To save you money is also saving you time. To save you time is saving you frustration. And I think that's pretty priceless. Here's what so many people are doing, giving me a call, giving me a text, giving me an email, because here's what I want to do. I want to help have a Zoom call with you. Set up a time for us to talk, to learn about what it is you want to do with your family. Tell me about the community and the lifestyle that you want to have. What are you looking for in your new hometown that maybe you don't have where you are? What are some of the things that you want? What are your hopes and dreams for your home? I'm going to suggest to you that you put together that whole long list of all the things you want and give me the top 5 of that list. Next thing we've got to do is know how much money you've got to spend. I mean, it's crass. I get it. But I can find you the perfect location. But if it's not in your budget, it's not in your budget. Time and frustration are priceless. Remember, I don't want to do that to you. So if you're a cash buyer, we know how much cash you've got. I can help you. What was that? But in addition to that, we need to talk about what's involved with selling a home or purchasing a home. What are the closing costs involved? What are the taxes involved? What are so many different things. So I can put together for you a estimated closing document sheet. These are the things that you need to know. If you don't have a local lender already, I can recommend a couple to you. We can go ahead and get you pre-approved, not pre-qualified. There's a difference. We can help get you pre-approved so we know exactly what number we need to be looking for when I'm starting to set up then your personal search. I can set up a personal search for you of the homes that meet your criteria within your budget and within the communities that we identify as right for you based on what you wanted. Then you can start seeing things from the comfort of your own home. You can start seeing homes. Look, I know you can look at Zillow and a home that looks phenomenal for you. And you can send it to me. Everything about it is perfect, except for the fact that the closest Costco is 17 miles away and the airport is 2.5 hours away. And the closest hospital, you get my point. What is it you want? I'm going to help you fine tune where you should be within your budget, within your parameters. Set up that search and you're well on your way to getting started on finding your dream home here in the Middle Tennessee, Nashville area. So if you're moving, do what so many others are doing. Give me a call, give me a text, send me that email. Calling is faster, frankly. Texting is much faster because my emails are full. But I really want to help you move to Middle Tennessee, even if I don't happen to be here right this minute. Till next week or next time. See you later.